Hello, I'm Dr. Daniel Farkas, and I want to talk to you today about how to cut the costs of treating inflammatory bowel disease. Disclaimer: the following presentations for informational purposes only do not alter or initiate any treatment without physician supervision. Let's go. So here's our agenda for today. Let's do an overview of inflammatory bowel disease itself. Let's talk about the current problem of high costs, the impact of costs on people, some effective and affordable support alternatives, as well as next steps to getting affordable help. So an overview of inflammatory bowel disease. Inflammatory bowel disease is also known as IBD. It affects millions of Americans. It includes Crohn's disease, colitis, and ulcerative colitis. It is typically diagnosed by visual inspection of lesions during a colonoscopy. Now, here's the current problem of the high costs. Even with prescription coverage and even after the yearly deductible is met, typical costs are $900 per month and rising. Coverage shortfalls can make coverage as high as $3,200 per month. Not sustainable. To me, the real cost is suffering when expensive drugs are not effective or produce side effects that further complicate people's health and their finances. So now the impact of the costs on people, it causes all types of issues. It causes households to struggle financially, causes turmoil in families as certain family members just need all the resources available and more. Drugs are not always effective and they create further frustration and desperation. And there do not seem to be any alternatives, and hope is lost in many cases. To me, the biggest cost is loss of life, as cancer can materialize during remission. Flares followed by remission, flares followed by remission. A lot of times, unfortunately, during remission, when the body's trying to repair things, that's where the errors are made, and that can result in tumors that cause cancer. Huge killer in the United States. So, the solution: effective and affordable support alternatives are very ideal. So great news, effective natural support is available. Advanced trained practitioners are available. They classically spend extended time with their clients to uncover root causes of IBD. Advanced testing that goes way beyond ordinary testing is here, and gratefully, breakthrough all natural medical foods create opportunity previously unheard of. So I got to ask you, have you even heard of medical foods for IBD? And also know too, advanced trained practitioners, they take the time to teach their clients to become independent for lasting results. Now here's a strategy. Carefully gather a background history, especially the family history. If colorectal cancer is all throughout a family, we need to know that. That's crucial. Then we get down to business to order advanced testing that can include a complete stool mapping, food sensitivities tests, genetic testing, and more. The neat thing about this is all these tests I'm describing, these are things done at home. You don't have to go to a lab. You don't have to stay anywhere. These are test kits that can get shipped anywhere. Once everything's done, then you sit down, you review all the results with you, the client, and create a plan using precision all-natural support such as medical foods, powerful anti-inflammatories, and crucial lifestyle guidelines. Finally, we have to always coordinate with other managing physicians and prescribers. We always do that too. This is a great strategy right here. This is a strategy I endorse. Now, advanced testing begins with stool mapping, and this is testing unlike you'll find in ordinary gastroenterology settings. The mapping looks for bacteria that drive inflammation and disturb the brain and immune system. Just understand, all bacteria have a voice, good ones and bad ones. They all send messages to the brain and to the immune system, up a set of nerves known as the vagus nerve, and by the chemicals they secrete into the blood. I'm telling you, bacteria are telling the brain and immune system how to behave. Just imagine if they're healthy and balanced. They send good news to the brain and immune system. They get good performance out of them. But now look at this test result. See all the red on there? Can you even see any of the red? These are signs that there are things that are telling the brain and immune system to go haywire and drop massive inflammation, nuclear bombs on the intestines and cause misery. This can be changed. Everything you're seeing right here can be changed. You have to map it out, hence the word stool mapping. Now, food, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy. A simple food test identifies food sensitivities. And again, this is a simple test done at home, just like the stool test, easy, tiny little stool test done at home. Send the sample in the mail. This is done easily by pricking your finger at home. Doesn't even hurt. Now, these are slightly different than ordinary allergies. Food sensitivities, they can affect us negatively, similar to allergies, but they function a little bit different. That's why they got to be tested for, because they can change over time and they should be monitored. Testing simple. Again, finger prick information is just huge. I do got to say down at the bottom here, gluten, it's a big no-no for most people. It damages the gut lining, triggers inflammation. It's just a real nightmare. But the stool and food testing can tell us with scientific certainty if you have indicators that confirm gluten is a no-no for you, and it most likely is. Now the genetic screening, so powerful. Genes determine if we make effective enzymes that allow healthy processes to occur throughout the body. Now, these are different than ordinary digestive enzymes you might be thinking of. Now, though you can't change your genetic issues, that's true, but the good news is you can effectively support them. So, question, have you been screened? And you can be screened anonymously, just so you know, this is another test you do at home, and genetic screening could and should, in my opinion, be done anonymously. You can give an anonymous name and date of birth, protect your genetic data. But I feel everyone needs to get screened who's concerned about IBD for something called FUT2. That is an enzyme that determines if you can even maintain healthy bacteria levels. Imagine not being able to, just like genetically, be able to maintain healthy bacteria levels. I find this routinely in IBD folks. It's so important to know because this helps to determine what we're going to do long term, and you can help support this in a big way. Now, can't forget this, the brain-gut connection, crucial. The brain controls 100% of immune system activity that causes flares and inflammation. Let's get communication between the gut back to 100% with vagus nerve stimulation. Again, the vagus nerve, that's the information superhighway between your gut and between your brain, and it can become dysregulated. Now, testing for this, it's easy and it's even fun. It's simple stuff. And what these assessments you do, and again, this is something you do simply at home, it gives rise to what we call brain-based therapies. These are the things that stimulate healthy vagus nerve function. Anyone can do them. And brain-based therapies are crucial, in my opinion, for a completely holistic approach. We want to cover all bases, everything that has to do with the brain, the gut, the immune system, and how they communicate their connection, and improve it all to the max. And when it's done properly, like a symphony orchestra, it creates something beautiful. Now, when it comes to results and strategic planning, once we have all this information, advanced practitioners like me, I feel, have advanced resources, including time. I think that's a big problem with IBD, that just doesn't get the time from the practitioners that's required to make individualized plans. But typically, advanced practitioners, they teach their clients how to be independent long-term. And I'm telling you, you'll learn how to use something we call medical foods now and in the future that for many have become medication alternatives. Now, I would never tell you to not take a medication, but I'll just have you know that medical foods, all natural support, becomes a medication alternative to many, and it is a highly affordable alternative. So have you even heard of this? FDA-approved medical foods from a company like, for example, Metagenics, who I think is brilliant. There are other companies. Metagenics, I think, is at the forefront of development of medical foods precisely for IBD. Now, medical foods, they are a promising source of support. Know this, all natural support for IBD cases is here, and it is now, and it's being used by many, many, many successful people. This is to be used under physician supervision. We want to use it properly. It's not dangerous or anything, but we just want to use it precisely. Hope it makes sense. And here we go, finally to the point. It's affordable. Once you're stabilized over weeks or sometimes some short months, maintenance can be simple, and many, if they even need long-term support at all, spend less than sometimes $100 per month for maintenance at the time of this writing in 2025. Very different than $1,000 a month. And when it helps naturally without side effects, to me, that's the real win. But, financial health is very important, just as physical health is. You familiar with this? This is an example, one of the medical foods out there, promising sources of support. Something made by Metagenics. If you can see down in the red strip on the bottom of this bag, it says medical food. And medical foods are things that have been approved for certain health conditions such as IBD. The formulation in this substance here is for people with IBD. It helps to heal the lining of the gut. It helps to calm inflammation, and it can change what's happening in there, and it can be maintained. It is possible. So what to do? We talked about a lot today. What's the next step? I say connect with a pro, get with a professional. We'll help you find someone wherever you are. Now, we serve those in Michigan, but some travel just once to see us, and that's all it takes to meet you in person, get to know your problem, and get a plan in place, and then we can monitor people remotely after that pretty successfully. But wherever you are, I think we can find help for you, and we're passionate about that. I think you can win. I do think you can because I see it so frequently. I got a couple of studies to talk about. One was Aaron, who was age 39. He got better. His results, after about 8 weeks, he and I saw completely new and improved Aaron. He was sleeping better, exercising harder than ever. He was passionate about that. He has perfectly functioning bowel pattern, he says, and now he says he's just thrilled. He's finally able to eat what he wants, and he has sincere peace of mind. And what did we do with him? Stool mapping test, food testing, genetic history review, used medical foods, and some individualized coaching. He did great. And then Kayla, she was also 39. She got better too. Took a little longer though. After 12 weeks, we saw her get away from her medication that was expensive, and that was a big problem for her. She got back to caring for her young daughter and her husband 100%, and that's what she was that was a big goal for her. She wanted to be at 100% for them. We did stool mapping, food testing, genetic history review, medical foods, and individualized coaching. It works. So again, next steps, connect with a pro. We'll find help for you wherever you are. We'd love to help you though, of course. Add you to our list of successful people. We serve those in Michigan, but some travel just wants to see us. So I invite you, just imagine getting in control of things, just getting back into where you're in control, saving money long-term, reducing family stress, and avoiding side effects of living a full life. I think it's totally possible. If you want to learn more, you'll get more information on our site, Back to Health Natural Solutions. You'll find a way you can speak to us, and knowledge is power. I'm optimistic for you because I can see that you are pursuing natural change and natural improvement, and I do think it is possible.